I greet you again, and this again is Chege Moreu, Man on a Mission, where my mission is mental health awareness. And today I would want to talk to you about self-esteem. And before anything else, I would want us to get to have this idea that all the problems that we have as concerns our mental health emanate from ourselves. It is not those things out there that are going to be a problem to us, whether people are not good to us, whether we have met with the things that are not very good to us. It is us that determine really who we are, what we stand for, our success or our failure. And when it comes to self-esteem, self-esteem reflects an individual's emotional evaluation of self. How do you rate yourself? The way we rate ourselves is what determines our self-esteem. And actually, you rate yourself highly, you are up there. You rate yourself lowly, you are down there. And actually, when it comes to self-esteem, it is determined by our beliefs, the way we believe in ourselves, our emotional states, and that kind of thing. And when it comes to the way we rate ourselves, the end result, we might have, some thoughts that are telling us we are succeeding, and we call that one triumph. We are feeling so good, and we even think that we are better than others. We call that one pride. And then we think that we are not doing very well, and we go down there, we call that one despair. And then even when we don't want other people to get into our spheres, how we are feeling, and we think that it is not very good when people know where we are, what we stand for. That one we call it shame. Now, all this determines on the opinion that you have for yourself. Sometimes people, get troubled because of the opinion of other people about themselves. But then this time when it comes to self-esteem, it is the opinion that you have about yourself. Of course, once in a while, people are going to doubt themselves. Here and there, you doubt whether you are doing some good work. But when it goes to the extreme, that you are very, very down, that is when it becomes a big, big problem. When your self-esteem is high, that is not an issue. Although again, when it is too high, there are times that we tend to overrate ourselves. And so it is good not to be very up there, not to be so down. And when we are not badly off, and that one is not an issue, then we don't talk about it. And today, I want to really concentrate on that time when you are down there, when we say that people have low self-esteem. Now, when we talk about low self-esteem, it's when people lack confidence about themselves, and you feel so bad about yourself, such that now, even when people try to help you, you think you are really down there. You feel that you are not lovable, you feel awkward, you feel incompetent. That is the time that we say that a person has a low self-esteem. And when we have people that have low self-esteem, they are very, very sensitive. We say that they are hypersensitive. When you look, you have people looking at you, you think that they already can see how incompetent you are, how bad you are, and that kind of thing, such that even the relationship between you and other people is affected like that. And then, when you behave like that, people with low self-esteem tend to feel that they have that sense of rejection. It's like they are being rejected by other people. They think that people are not approving them. They feel a sense of disapproval from other people. And funny enough, even when people are out there to help you, you still think that they are not up to anything they are not up to anything good. And so there is a danger where people always think that they are going to make a mistake, such that when they feel that probably if I start something I'm going to make a mistake, they don't start anything at all. They are there thinking that they cannot do anything good. Then they also judge themselves, and they also judge situations, judge other people, and then they think that the people are not judging me fairly, and that kind of thing. And then people now expose them to ridicule, such that when people see you behaving queerly, it is like you confirm what they are saying is true about myself. What they are doing, they are justified to have that one. And so people behave now so badly, such that at the end of the day, you find somebody now on the receiving end. And so, while everyone self-esteem is vulnerable to the environment, now self-esteem comes from deep inside ourselves. And when it comes from deep inside ourselves, now it is for us now to judge ourselves fairly, think that we can, and that kind of thing. Now, one thing about self-esteem is that there is an inner critical voice that comes just from within because of the way we think, and we carry it critical inner voice, and it contributes seriously to the way we perceive ourselves. And this one has got some very, very serious consequences. Because when that critical voice tells you that you can never come up with anything good, you avoid interaction with other people, you react defensively, such that when something says anything tiny about you, you are out there, fighting. And then you also react cynically, and then you lash out. You are so confused. And then, when we perceive ourselves like that, you find that our life is going to be not very good, and you cannot even produce, because in the first place, you don't rate yourself highly. And so, when we have low self-esteem, people with low self-esteem are living a life of misery. A life of misery because you cannot help yourself. When people try to, to intervene, you are suspicious about these people. And so it's like you cannot be helped either from within or from without. And so the big question is, when we are thinking like that, when we underrate ourselves, when we are rating ourselves so lowly, how can we overcome that? There is some good news that when we have low self-esteem, it is not something permanent. It is something that we can deal with. It is something that we are able to overcome. And there are two key components in overcoming low self-esteem. And one of them is to stop listening to your critical inner voice. The other one is to start practicing self-compassion. When we talk about self-compassion, is to, realizing that you have a problem, and then you try to come up with something that you can do so that you really overcome that low self-esteem. How do we stop listening to your inner voice, critical voice? The inner critical voice, really decimates our self-esteem with thoughts like you hear a voice from inside yourself telling you you are stupid, and then when it tells you are stupid, you start believing that you are stupid, and things go haywire. You are fat. Fatness is not something that is acceptable, especially amongst the ladies. You hear a voice telling you that you are fat. And for ladies, those ones that would not feel that being fat is not something good. Some of them will even deny themselves food for no good reason at all, and then they become very thin. They become very thin, such that it is injurious to their health. That inner voice can even tell you, you are all alone, nobody likes you. And when it comes to, somebody feeling that nobody likes you, then, it is not very good even for your physical health. Then that voice should tell you when you talk in front of people. It's like you say completely nothing. You are saying trash. And so when you go in front of people, you had better keep quiet. Then, another voice tells you, why can't you be like other people? You start comparing with yourself with other people, not realizing that all of us are unique. And, when you start wishing to become like other people, when are you going to be yourself? And so, all these things, those negative, voices coming from within are going to add up to telling you that you are worthless. You are not worth anything. And remember, when we started, we saying that when it comes to self-esteem is the way you rate yourself, the way you value yourself. And to overcome low self-esteem, it is essential that you challenge the negative thoughts that keep plopping in your mind. And, to do this, there are some steps that we should follow. Step number 1, recognize when you start thinking these kind of thoughts, and take action. Because there are times that you feel that those thoughts are coming, and then all of a sudden, do something. Sometimes you can even, when you hear the voice coming, you can just, you can just clap your hands like that and say, this is the time now to stop thinking this kind of thoughts. Then step number 2, choose not to listen to your inner critical voices that are assassinating your character. Now, how do you stop that? In most cases, you imagine that somebody is telling you those things that you are hearing from deep inside yourself. What did you do? The best thing, if you hear somebody talking like that, is standing up, walking away from that person, and that kind of thing. And try to imagine that when somebody tells you these things that are coming from deep inside you, the first thing that you do is to become angry. And when you become angry, you can either fight, walk away, or, take action that is going to take you away from this person that is talking negatively about you. Now, you can take the same approach. Feel bad about that critical voice. And when you feel that bad about it, you have to tell this voice that I'm not this kind of that person. I'm not going to be the kind of person you want me to be. That is, you say no to yourself. Say no to negative thoughts. Say no to anything that is going to come from deep inside you, trying to bring your value down. Because again, self-esteem is about the value that you put into yourself. Now, one way of doing things, this thing, is even writing. You can write down, because self-esteem is no joke. In fact, it is going to make you it's going to make you not to be productive. You may be a student in school or college. It is going to tell you, you can never be number 1. You can never pass in mathematics. You can never do well in sciences. You can never do well in these things. It could even be in your place of work. And even your place of work, when that voice comes, it tells you, you are in this place of work, but this is not the place for you, because you can never be productive. You can never come up with anything good and that kind of thing. So, when these thoughts are coming, you can have a diary. And in this diary, you can have a page where you're going to divide the page into 2. On the one side, you write the critical voice, and then you listen to it. And then the other one, the response to the critical voice, and be very realistic about yourself. And when that voice tells you that you are stupid, you write it down, and that it is telling you you are stupid. And then think from deep inside yourself, am I really stupid? And then on the right hand side, you can write something like this: I may struggle at times, but I am smart and competent in many ways. Because you can fail in one area, and then you can be successful in another one. The voice can tell you you are fat. If it tells you that you are fat, you have that idea. Write it down. The voice is telling you, I'm fat. On the other hand, how do you say, I accept myself the way I am? And then, if it is not very good for me, there is something I can do I can do about it. I can go for exercises. I can control it using diet and that kind of thing. And then you accept that. It can tell you nobody likes you. If it tells you that nobody likes you, then on the other hand, you can really think, really? I have parents that like me. I have friends that really like me. And outrightly you refuse that one and say, this is not true. I have a list of people that like me. You can even write them down, their parents, their friends, and that kind of thing. Because when you have low self-esteem, we listen to those voices of 1, 2, 3 people that are telling us that we are good for nothing, and we come to believe that. But in the real sense, you have so many people that really like you. And then when the voice comes and tells you, you should keep quiet. Every time you talk, you just make a fool of yourself. When you hear that voice talking like that, you, on the other side, you write. And I'm serious about writing. I should talk even when I make mistakes. Because when I talk, when I'm making mistakes, it gives me a chance of correcting myself. Because actually, there is nobody in this world that does not make a mistake. And the fact that you make a mistake does not make you a fool, does not make you irrelevant in this life. Now, there is this time that the voice is going to tell you to compare yourself with other people, and then you say, when I look at myself, I'm not like so and so, I'm not like so and so. And you complain, you say, why am I not like the other people? Actually, when you are not like the other people, that is the way to go. Because if you are unique in a way, then you can be able to do things in a unique way. Because if we all did things the same way, then who is going to borrow from who? And actually, when it tells you that, the voice tells you that you are not good enough, definitely you have seen people, so many people that are worse than you are. Actually, if you are doing what you are doing, we have got so many people. We have heard about this. We have heard about crooks, and you are not one. Then you say, I may not be good in one area, but I'm not the worst. And then actually, you start talking positively about yourself. And then when you sum up, and then you say, I am worthless. And then there is this time I read something about somebody that believed in God so much. And this man was saying, I know I am worth something because God does not create junk. When you talk about that you are worthless, you are saying that you are like junk. Some pieces of metal that have been dumped some place because they cannot do something. And then at that point in time, you start practicing what we call self-compassion. And like I said, when we talk about self-compassion, it is where you empathize with yourself, and then you say, I'm not very good in this area, there is something I can do about it. But when you start, looking down on yourself, and then you think there is nothing you can do about it, my friend, you are in trouble. And then, how do we practice self-compassion? There are ways of practicing self-compassion. Number one, you move from the areas of denial, that you don't have a problem. You know, there are some people who have problems, and even when it is written all over their faces, you're asking them what the issue is, they are going to tell you, I'm comfortable, I don't have a problem. In fact, that is very, very bad for your health. We should acknowledge when you have problems. Even when we are having negative thoughts about ourselves, we should acknowledge that we have a problem. And then, number two, be kind and caring in response to suffering. Be kind in response to suffering. And when we talk about being kind to suffering, trying to look for somebody with an issue. Because you know, when we talk about our values, our value can be best measured by doing something to other people. If you look at somebody and then you think this person has a problem, and you approach this person, try to help this person, if you do it, then that one is a big plus. And it is going to tell you, surely, you are not as bad as you were thinking that you are. And then, remember that imperfection is part of human life. There is nobody who is all perfect. In fact, people, even people that have reached very high levels in life, people that have really become, talk, because they have really achieved. Talk to these people. Try to find out how they have gone the far that they have gone. And then, when you know that you cannot be perfect, when you make a mistake, very fast try to find out how you can really come and rectify that mistake, and you are going to get a solution to that. Be nice to yourself. Be nice to yourself. I have said time and again, in fact, I don't know whether I can do a talk without telling people to be nice to themselves, because when you are being good to somebody else, you are adding value to that person. When you be good to yourself, you are adding value to yourself. For example, if you are very untidy and you are moving around, when people look at you and they see how untidy you are, then your value is down there. What if you go inside, get a bath, change clothes, you come out very, very smart? Definitely you add value to yourself. And when people tell you, today you are very smart, these people are adding value to you. And who started adding the value? It is yourself. The very moment you decided that when I'm getting out, today I'm going to be very smart. And then when people see you, they are only adding value on top of what you really started. Now get moving. Set goals. People with high self-esteem set goals. You say, this is what I want to in life. The other day I was just moving along a road, and I saw, a billboard advertising something. And they had somebody that was saying, I know what is best for me. I know what is best for me. When you know what is best for me, you set goals. How do I get there? How do I get there? And then, remember, you make mistakes in order to learn and grow. And when we get to those areas, and then we think how to do it, with your help, you think that you are not doing badly off, and where you get stuck, get help from other people, because nobody is an island. I'm sure you can beat you can beat low self-esteem. In this life, there are some people who had low self-esteem. And when they put these measures that we have talked about today, they came out so nicely, and they realized that they can really conquer. They can really conquer. And actually, there are some people who don't have some very good looks. There are some people who are, who are disabled, and they are doing much, much better than people that are able-bodied. There is this man called Nick, and I really admire him. He doesn't have limbs. And he does so many things. No arms, no legs, and that kind of thing. And when it comes to disability, there is that inner critical voice that can tell you that when you are disabled, you cannot do anything. And when we take the example of Nick, I'm really humbled by this man, because without limbs, he can swim. There's one lecturer that I shared with, and he was telling me that when he went to lecture his students, he used to say things and what is required for you to do these things. And then he was telling me that he used to tell his students that to swim, you need arms, you need legs. And then the moment he saw Nick, he decided to change his lecture, because Nick can swim, he doesn't have arms, he doesn't have legs. And so, if somebody, and Nick is the talk of the globe, he has even moved so many areas, telling people what he has done, what he can do, and that kind of thing. And then when you have that self-esteem, I want to remind you something. With self-esteem, you can go very high. Can you remember Obama? Obama won the presidency in America by telling people, yes, we can. Even for you, if you have that idea that you can put into practice what we have said today, definitely we can. And even as I finish, I want to tell you, and I want to confirm, it is only you that can come between you and your success, because self-esteem is established from within by thinking positively about yourself. And I want to believe what we have said for today is good, and somebody is going to come out bravely, move out of low self-esteem, and really create self-esteem in you, and you are going to get far. May God bless us. Bye-bye.